Hi, my name is Sylvester. I'm here with my biology teacher, Miss Lohenry. The date is December 10th, and we are recording this interview in Chicago, Illinois. First question, Miss Lohenry, is how good of a student was my dad when you were teaching him?
Well, I taught your dad when he was a freshman. So that was my first year here, and he was in my physical science class. And I have to tell you, honestly, I don't remember his grades necessarily, but I do remember he was one of the kids who would hang out after school. And sometimes it was social, but he would finish his work after school if he needed to. So he was pretty conscientious, even though I don't really remember the exact grades.
All right, thank you. The second question is, if you were to go back in time, would you decide to restart your life or to teach my dad again?
That's a great question. I think that I wouldn't want to restart my life because that would entail um, a lot of good things, but a lot of bad things too. So I don't think I would want to have to live through those again. But I would definitely like to teach some of my students again from the past, especially knowing that, however many years down the line, I would have their kids in class too. I think that would be interesting to do.
Third question. When you graduated high school, what was your original goal?
I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do in terms of a career. I did major in biology, but I kind of thought maybe medicine or nursing or pharmacy, and I kind of just fell into teaching. I was only going to do it for a short amount of time, and then I was going to go back to school. But 42 years later, that didn't happen. So, yeah, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do, but I'm glad that this is the choice I made.
How was life like for you when you were a freshman in high school?
When I was a freshman in high school,
Yeah.
I think for the length of time that I have been teaching, there's always somebody who will say something along the lines of like, oh, kids today. And do you know what? Kids today are really similar to kids that have always been in high schools in our country. What was different, of course, was the technology and how basic the technology was. If I wanted to do a paper for a class, I would have to get out the typewriter and the whiteout to correct my mistakes. So the lack of any kind of advanced technology, we didn't know it at the time because it didn't exist, but that made our lives more difficult in some ways, but I guess in some ways it was better too because we had less distractions from a lot of things. But basically I think kids are kids, and they've always been that way, do you know?
What would be your reaction if one of the Olsons, like for example, my dad were to come visit you right now?
I would love to see your dad again. It's really fun when I see the former students. Sometimes, they come back after a year or 5 years or 10 years or even longer. It's always fun to see them. I just recently, your dad would probably know her, you could ask. I just recently met a graduate from the class of 2000, so your dad was 1999, if I'm not mistaken, and her name is Sabrina Barnes. She's working as a nurse, so I hadn't seen her in 25 years probably, or thereabouts. So I would love to see your dad again. That would be fun. You should tell him to come by.
I will. An additional question, even though that was all five, but I decided to add an additional one.
Yeah.
Would you ever like, if you ever had the opportunity, would you ever wish for a high school reunion?
Yeah, if we could do like an all-year Holy Trinity High School reunion, that would be fun. Last year when we dedicated the Learning Commons and we had all those alums back, every single one of those people who was sitting up on the stage had been my students in the past. So yeah, I love to see what's going on and to see I call them kids. They're kids to me still, I guess. But I'd love to see what the graduates are up to. That's always fun.
I mean, already know one of them is up to because they're my dad.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, tell your dad I said hello and tell him to come on in and pop in just to give me the specifics.
Yeah.
And I'll tell him what a fabulous student you are when you do all your work, you know.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Yeah, good?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, sir.